Society calls it predatory. Culture calls it daddy issues. But evolutionary biology calls it optimal. We are told a lie. We are told that a woman's ideal partner is her equal, someone her age, someone with her exact level of experience, someone who shares her confusion about the world. This is a modern fabrication. It is a soft lie designed to make weak men feel comfortable. The truth is much darker, and the truth is much simpler. Deep in the subcortical layers of the female brain, there is a program that has run for 200,000 years. It does not care about political correctness. It cares about one thing: survival. This program whispers to her. It tells her to bypass the nervous, unproven energy of youth. It tells her to seek the Silverback, the man who has survived the war, the man who has climbed the competence hierarchy, the man who has resources, emotional stability, and established territory. She craves the older man, not for his money. That is too simplistic. She craves him for his frame. But here is the danger. Here is the trap that catches 90% of men in their 40s and 50s. Just because you are older does not mean you are worthy. Age is not authority. Age is just decay, unless you have the wisdom to back it up. When a younger woman approaches you, she is not just offering affection, she is initiating an audit. She is running a psychological diagnostic to see if you are truly a king or just an old fool with a wallet. She will not ask you for your resume. She will not ask for your tax returns. Instead, she will hit you with two specific covert questions. She will test you, ruthlessly, subconsciously. If you answer these questions correctly, you secure her hypergamy, you become her obsession. If you fail, you become her resource, you become her ATM. You become a joke. Most men fail because they do not even hear the question being asked. They hear the words, but they miss the signal. Today, we decode the signal. We are going to dissect the two silent questions every woman asks an older man. We will strip away the polite fiction. We will look at the raw, evolutionary mechanics of attraction. Welcome to the deep end.
Let us remove the morality. Let us remove the modern social shaming. Let us look at the code. Why does a woman in her prime, fertile, beautiful, sought after by men her own age, look up the hierarchy? Why does she ignore the 25-year-old with the six-pack and the limitless energy? And why does she fixate on the man with grey in his beard and scars on his soul? The answer lies in one fundamental concept: risk management. To a woman, a young man is a growth stock. He is volatile. He has potential. Yes, but potential is just a fancy word for hasn't done it yet. He is unproven. He is still figuring out who he is. He is still fighting for his place in the tribe. He is anxious. He is reactive. He is insecure. Investing in him is a gamble. An older man, he is a blue chip stock.
He is the survivor of the filter. Life is a series of filters: poverty, stress, competition, war, disease, heartbreak. Most men break under this pressure. They become bitter, they become weak, they tap out. But if a man reaches 40 or 50, and he is still standing, if he has retained his fitness, if he has accumulated resources, if he has maintained his sanity, that is not luck. That is proof. This is the essence of hypergamy. Hypergamy is not just marrying up for money. It is the biological drive to seek the highest possible competency in a mate to ensure the survival of offspring. Women are the gatekeepers of reproduction. They cannot afford to bet on a maybe. They want a certainty. When she looks at you, She sees a man who has already faced the dragon and won. She sees a man who understands the competence hierarchy, but it goes deeper than resources. Well, money is just a proxy for competence. What she truly craves is emotional containment. Young men are full of nervous energy that they vibrate with anxiety. When a woman brings her chaos, her emotions, her changing moods away, her fears, the young man amplifies it. He argues with her. He gets emotional with her. He becomes a second woman in the relationship. The older man offers something rare in the modern world: stillness. He has seen it all before. He does not panic when it rains. He does not crumble when she cries. He is the mountain. She is the weather. The weather changes constantly. The mountain does not move. This dynamic creates polarity. Sexual attraction thrives on difference. If you are the same as her, there is no spark. The age gap creates a natural gradient of authority and experience. It allows her to relax into her feminine energy because she feels the weight of your masculine frame. She feels safe, not just safe from physical danger, safe from the burden of leading. She does not want to be the captain. She is tired of telling boys what to do. She is tired of making the decisions. She craves a man who has the map, a man who knows the destination. She wants to be the passenger. However, this is where the tragedy happens. This is where the old fool is born. Just because you are older, she assumes you have this wisdom. She hopes you have this frame, but she needs to verify it. She cannot trust your grey hair alone. She needs to poke the bear. She needs to see if you are truly the mountain, or if you are just a pile of rocks waiting to slide. So she initiates the protocol. She begins the testing. And if you do not understand the nature of these tests, you have already lost. Men call it drama. Men call it playing games. Men call it being difficult. The pickup artist community calls it a shit test. But in the realm of evolutionary psychology, we use a more accurate term, a fitness test. You must reframe your understanding of this immediately. When a woman challenges you, when she questions your judgment, when she throws a sudden curveball of emotional chaos, it is not an act of malice. It is an act of due diligence. Think about it logically. She is about to invest her most valuable resources in you, her youth, her fertility, her time, her reputation, in the ancestral environment. Choosing the wrong mate was a death sentence. Choosing a man who looked strong but crumbled under pressure meant her children would starve.
It meant she would be left defenseless. So nature installed a safety mechanism. She cannot read your mind, and she cannot see your soul. She can only see how you react to pressure. So she manufactures pressure. She pokes the bear. She shakes the tree to see if the roots are deep, or if the tree is just held up by ego. This is the shit test. It is a request for information. She is asking, are you who you say you are? Most men fail this audit instantly, especially older men who are insecure about their age. When she tests them, they view it as disrespect. They get offended, they get defensive, they start to argue, they try to explain themselves logically. Listen to me closely. You cannot logic your way out of a biological test. The moment you start explaining, you are losing.
The moment you get angry, you are failing. Why? Because if a 25-year-old girl can ruin your day with one comment, you are not a king. You are a fragile boy in a man's costume. If she can push a button and control your emotional state, she owns you. And a woman cannot respect a man she owns. She cannot feel arousal for a man she can control. It kills the polarity. All she wants you to pass. Deep down, she is praying that you remain unbothered. She wants to throw her chaos at you and watch it shatter against your indifference. She wants to see that your reality is stronger than hers. When you pass the test, when you remain amused, calm, and grounded, her anxiety vanishes. Her trust in you spikes. She feels safe, because if her little tests cannot break you, then the world cannot break you, and that makes you a safe harbor. But the tests for an older man are specific. She won't test you like she tests a boy in a nightclub. She won't test you on your coolness. She will test you on your structure. She will target the two pillars of your masculinity, your purpose and your security. She will execute this with two specific questions. They will sound innocent, they will sound like love, but they are the sniper shots designed to take you out. Let's dismantle the first one. The first question targets your mission. As an older man, your value is built on what you have built. Your career, your legacy, your purpose. You have spent decades constructing your empire. You are the sun, and your resources are the gravity that holds the solar system together. She enters your orbit. She enjoys the warmth. She enjoys the lifestyle your mission provides. But then she tries to pull you out of alignment. She will ask you, question number 1. It rarely comes as a direct challenge. It comes wrapped in sweetness. It comes wrapped in a pout. It sounds like this. Why do you work so much? Can't you skip that meeting and stay in bed with me? If you really loved me, you would make more time for us. Do not be fooled. This is not a request for intimacy. This is a priority test. She is asking, will you sacrifice your mission for my validation? This is the most dangerous trap for the older man. Why? Because the older man often feels he has arrived. He feels he has earned a break, and he is often desperate to keep the young woman happy. He fears losing her to a younger guy, so he compromises. He cancels the meeting, he skips the gym, he neglects his business to take her on a spontaneous trip. He makes her the mission. He thinks he is showing love. He thinks he is proving his devotion. He is actually proving his submission. The moment you make a woman your primary mission, you lose her. Women do not want to be the center of your universe. They want to be the complement to your universe. If she can convince you to abandon the very thing that made you successful just to please her, then you are not a king. You are a simp with a bank account. You have signaled that your purpose is flimsy. You have signaled that you can be manipulated by sex or guilt. If you crumble here, her respect vanishes. She will start to feel unsafe. Why? Because if she can distract you, then your competitors can destroy you. The solution: you must pass this test with benevolent indifference. You do not get angry, you do not explain. You simply hold the line, you look at her with a smile, you kiss her on the forehead, and you say, I would love to stay, but I have a kingdom to run. I will see you at 7. Then you leave and you walk out the door. You choose the mission. This hurts her ego for exactly 5 minutes. But deep in her biology, it triggers massive attraction. She sees a man who cannot be bought. She sees a man with a backbone. She realizes she is with a captain who will not abandon the wheel of the ship, even for the most beautiful passenger. That is safety. That is dominance. That is the correct answer. But once you pass the priority test, she will not stop. She will escalate. She will attack the one thing you are trying to hide: your age.
You have proven your mission is solid. Now, she needs to test your ego like this is the most painful test. It is the one that destroys marriages. It is the one that turns dignified older men into jealous, insecure wrecks. Question number 2 is not about your time, Audit. It is about your confidence. She is going to target your biggest insecurity. And for the older man, that insecurity is always the same: obsolescence. You fear being too old. You fear being out of touch. You fear that you cannot compete with the stamina or the aesthetic of the younger generation. You know you are dying sooner than she is. She knows this too, and she needs to know if you are okay with it. So, she will hit you with the security test. It often comes disguised as a joke or a casual observation.
It sounds like you're listening to that old song again. You don't understand how social media works, do you? My friend's boyfriend is taking her to trendy club. You probably wouldn't like it. It's too loud for you. Or sometimes she will just stare at a younger, fitter man in public just to see if your eyes dart to him in panic. The core question she is asking is, can I destroy your emotional control? She's poking your bruise. She's checking for cracks in your armor. Here is the catastrophic failure. The man gets defensive. He tries to prove he is still young. He starts dressing like a teenager. He buys the sports car he doesn't even like. He gets angry at her for disrespecting him. He starts explaining, I'm not old, I'm in better shape than those soy boys.
Stop. You look pathetic. When you react to her jab, you are telling her, you are right. I am insecure about my age. I am afraid you will leave me. You have handed her the frame. You have shown her that her opinion defines your self-worth. A king does not care if a peasant thinks his crown is crooked. And an older man of value does not care if a woman thinks he is old. He knows he is old. He owns it. He knows that his age is the source of his power, not his weakness. The win Amused mastering. When she says, you're too old for this club, but you do not argue. You agree and amplify. You lean back, smile, and say, you're right. I am. I prefer places where the whiskey is older than the patrons. Let's go there instead.
When she says, you don't get this TikTok trend, you do not try to learn it, you laugh. I'm too busy building the world required for that app to exist. I'll let you handle the dancing. You treat her tests like a child splashing water at a battleship. You do not fire the cannons, you just keep sailing. You show her that you are the unmoved mover. This requires Stoicism. Stoicism is not having no emotions. Stoicism is refusing to be enslaved by them. It is realizing that her chaos is the weather. Sometimes it storms, sometimes it is sunny, but you are the tectonic plate. You do not shift because of rain. When an older man exhibits this level of emotional invincibility, it acts as a potent aphrodisiac, and it tells her subconscious, he is solid, he accepts himself completely.
He is not competing with the boy. He has already won the game. That is the ultimate security. That is what locks her in. But knowing the answers to these two questions is not enough. You cannot just memorize lines. You must embody the behavior. You must understand the final piece of the puzzle, nonverbal dominance.
Here is the final secret, the master key. I have given you the words. I have told you what to say when she tests your mission and your security. But words are only 7% of communication. The other 93%, it is subtext, it is tone, it is frame. You do not answer these questions with a script. You answer them with your state of being. The biggest mistake older men make is over-engagement. When she tests you, you lean in, you talk faster, your pitch goes up, your eyes widen, seeking her approval. You become the defendant in the courtroom, and you have made her the judge. This is a violation of the hierarchy. The king does not plead his case to the subject. To pass these tests truly, you must flip the dynamic. You must move from qualifying yourself to her to letting her qualify herself to you. How does this look physically? 1. The pause. When she asks a testing question, do not answer immediately. Silence creates tension. Most men are terrified of tension, So they rush to fill the silence with nervous chatter. The high-value man loves tension. He lets the silence hang in the air. He looks at her, not with anger, but with assessment. This subcommunicates, I am processing your behavior. I am deciding if you are worth my time. 2. The lean back. When she brings chaos, you do not lean forward. You lean back. You take up space. You remain open. This signals that you are comfortable in your own skin. It signals that you are not threatened. 3. The eye contact. You do not look away when she challenges you. You hold the gaze, soft but unyielding. You look right through the mask of her test, into the frightened girl underneath who just wants to know if you are strong enough to handle her. When you combine the right words, section 4 and 5, with this non-verbal dominance, the test dissolves. The dynamic shifts. She realizes that her little psychological tricks do not work on you. She realizes she is in the presence of a man who cannot be manipulated. And that is when the testing stops and the devotion begins. Section 7. Outro and CTAA. Let's be clear about one thing. The testing never truly ends. It is not a level you beat in a video game. It is a biological constant. As long as she is feminine and you are masculine, she will occasionally shake the tree. She will check the locks on the doors. She will test your frame. Do not resent this. Do not wish it were different. Wishing for a woman who doesn't test you is wishing for a woman who doesn't care about her own survival. Instead, embrace it. View every test as a compliment. She is testing you because she hopes you are the one. She is testing you because she wants to submit to your leadership. But she needs to verify your license first. You are the older man. You have the experience. You have the resources. You have the scars. Now, you must have the mindset. Stop apologizing for your age. Stop apologizing for your ambition. Stop apologizing for your standards. Be the mountain. Be the mission. Be the prize. If you can do that, the age gap becomes irrelevant. You become timeless. Now, I have a question for you. Look at your last relationship. When the pressure came, did you act like the captain of the ship, or did you panic like a passenger? Tell me the truth in the comments. I am the captain, or I was the passenger? Be honest. The first step to power is admitting where you are weak. And if you want to understand the dark psychology of attraction that schools refuse to teach you, subscribe. Turn on the bell. We are just getting started. PsyMind Decode out.